Howdy howdy, this is Aurigauh. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. This is going to be showcasing all of the setups that people typically will use for the meta. These are the kind of setups that don't require any skill whatsoever to win with, that pretty much anybody can use and get a victory without any real effort. So, without further ado, the most common is probably going to be the Moonveil. It takes almost no time to get these attacks out, and if you hit somebody with the weapon and the wave, you can one-shot a lot of people. At super high levels, you may not one-shot, but you will damn near do it if you hit with both. And honestly, it just doesn't even require many stat points to use this and do that much damage. You can have the base equipped stat points and still one-shot people with this weapon. Like, it's ridiculous how overpowered this weapon is. I'm surprised it hasn't been patched yet. The next one up will be probably the other most infamous weapon, the Rivers of Blood with the Corpse Piler. I'm sure everybody who plays this game and has done PvP has seen someone who just doesn't know any other button than L2. And that's all they do. The whole fight is spam that because it's got like a 20-foot range. And it'll even catch you with some bleed even if you're rolling, which makes no sense to me. Or it'll apply bleed to you through shields and stuff like most other weapons can. It just applies more bleed than most weapons do when you use the weapon art. But yeah, that's the number 2 on our list here. The third no-skill weapon setup is going to be Bloodhound Step in general, especially when used with a thrusting sword or when used with a Colossal Sword, as it takes very little skill to do anything like that. I mean, honestly, it really doesn't take any. But another thing about Colossal Swords, these are another one on the no-skill list, because all you have to do is crouch R1 with a Zweihander, because the Zweihander has a much longer hitbox, and I don't mean length, I mean duration-wise. That active hitbox is active longer than any other weapon when you do the crouch poke. Crouch pokes in general with colossal weapons are no skill. The Zweihander in general is no skill. Then the next up on the list, the Sacred Relic Sword, the soul farming sword. Everyone knows this. Yeah, that holy wave. That hitbox is busted. That hitbox is not where the wave is, past about 10-20 feet past your character. From here to about here, the hit wave is pretty accurate. Anything past that, the hitbox is actually further out than the wave goes. So, yeah, it's really difficult to dodge past that distance. Most of the time you'll just get hit while you're looking at the wave 10 feet away from you, like, what? So yeah, you should be real proud of yourself when you win a fight with that. There's some other honorable mentions in here. Like, this one isn't too bad, honestly. This one does require a little skill to use. It can one-shot people fairly easily, but most people can see it coming and get out of the way. Now, this one, I know everybody's seen this build too. Everybody and their fucking brother uses this. So, yep. It's the infamous Bloodhound Step and Dual Cross Naganatas. Now, spears in general are not no skill. It's the Cross Naganatas that are no skill in general, because these have significantly higher damage output than any other spear. Like, I think it was 50 to 70 on my character, higher than any other spear when I checked it. And that's honestly just completely unbalanced. They've got the damage of a great spear and the speed of a regular spear. That's just not even a fair setup. So this is another one on the no skill list. Plus, people who just spam Bloodhound Step, oh, congratulations, you can be invincible with the touch of a button and just constantly be on your opponent's ass. Yeah, congratulations. Here's a applause for you. Now the next one is spells. Now this is a common combo that you'll see. A lot of people like to spam this because if you hit with one, you're gonna hit with the second, and that'll one-shot somebody. Yep, you see how quick that went out? That's insanely fast. You should not be able to cast those two spells together that quickly. There should be a much bigger delay, but for some reason it counts Comet as a chain cast on the tail end of a Duelist Scepter, or a Duelist Sword. And then here's the infamous Stars of Ruin. This one's a no-skill spell in general. Like, all you have to do is just, well, here, let me just spam this all day. Can't dodge it, can't roll through it, you'll still take damage. Bloodhound Step's pretty much the only cheap way to get through it. Same with Star Shower. Star Shower's another zero-skill spell. It tends to hit a little harder than Stars of Ruin, and it's just as hard to dodge. But it doesn't fire as many, so some people consider it less BS-y, but it's honestly, it's still just a zero-skill spell, because it'll catch people when they're rolling and stuff. Now, like it's guaranteed, you could spam rolling and it's still going to catch you. You can't time rolls to go all the way through that, because it's just random at the durations it hits you. There's Ancient Death Rancor. Isn't too bad, unless people just sit there and like spam it, and then while you're trying to dodge, they run up and Rivers of Blood, because you can't time your dodge for both at the same time. Or they'll spam Ancient Death Rancor, and then they'll do the gravity spell that pulls you through it. So other honorable mentions. This is an absolute zero skill combo. These are both zero skill combos. Like, you hit somebody with Bestial Sling and then Honed Bolt. This isn't actually intended to work as quickly as it does. They already tried to nerf Honed Bolt once, but it didn't work properly when they tried to nerf it with Bestial Sling and chained with other spells. So this is gonna get nerfed in the future. It's gonna get fixed. It's already on the chopping block to get fixed. It's just not done yet. There's also when you chain Catch Flame with something with incredibly high damage, like, that's not meant to chain together, but they do. That's another zero skill way to do incredible damage. And last but not least, for all the zero skill things, we've got Rotten Breath. Or just any Dragon Breath in general is a zero skill way to win. Because, I mean, honestly... Oh no! Look at all the skill that takes. I can cover an entire field with the push of a button and you can't roll through it. Wow. I feel so proud of myself for winning with that. So those are the majority of the no-skill ways to win. I'm sure there's a couple more that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But, yeah, those are the... Anybody who sees you using those, pretty much, those are the ones where... Even if they win with it, it can't really feel good. You spend more time looking at loading screens than you do actually playing the game when you use those setups, because it's just so easy to win with that stuff. It's just boring. You see so many people trying to use those setups that it's just... it's killing the PvP community out here, because it's just so boring. Everybody uses the same boring meta stuff to try to win. So I always try to steer away from that and try to use my own builds. Try to use something that you don't see every day. Like, none of this is in my normal repertoire except Bestial Sling. I keep that to try to interrupt people who spam Rivers of Blood and Moonveil. But I don't use any of these spells because it's just they're all way too easy to win with. Except maybe Catch Flame by itself. Catch Flame by itself isn't too bad. That one's a fair spell, because you've got to be right on them to hit with Catch Flame. But chaining it with the Magma Breath is not intended. You can't chain it with the other Magma Breath. You can't chain it with any other breath attacks. So that'll be fixed in the future as well. So I hope you enjoyed this showcase of weapons that just don't take any real effort or skill to win with. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.